Hi, welcome to the Akashic Librarian. I'm Cecelia Grace Butler, author, medium, Reiki Master, and yes, a former librarian. For more than 25 years, I've lived between the stacks and the stars, and this podcast is where those two worlds finally get to sit down together. Each episode is the audio companion to my newsletter, But for the Grace. So if you'd rather read than listen, you can find it at ceciliagracebutler.com. And if you'd rather listen, well, pour yourself something warm, maybe a cup of coffee. We're going to sit down together for a little while. Today's episode is called Head East. Make a U-turn. And it started, as so many good things do, with a completely ridiculous moment in my car. It happened on a Tuesday. I was somewhere between where I was going and where I thought I should be, which, if you've ever driven in coastal North Carolina, you know that can mean a lot of things. And my GPS spoke in that calm, unbothered voice it always uses, as if redirecting your entire life is no big deal. Head east. I almost laughed. From where I was positioned, head east meant one thing: the Atlantic Ocean. There's no destination east of here. There's only water. Endless, humbling. You are very small in the water. And then, almost immediately, the GPS said, make a U-turn. Of course, make a U-turn. I sat with that for a long time. That deep, sinking feeling reached into my chest. I think this is the beginning of another dark night of the soul. And that dark night of the soul has a terrible GPS signal. That's when you ask Spirit, where do I go? And Spirit says something that sounds an awful lot like head east, which makes no sense, which feels like the wrong direction, which, if followed literally, leads straight into the deep. Well, yes, I've had a few dark nights. The end of a 30-year marriage, I want you to sit with that number for a moment. 30 years. That's not just a relationship ending. That's an entire architecture of your life coming down. The routines, the shared language, the way someone knows how you take your coffee without asking. And then after that, 15 years after my first cancer diagnosis, 15 years of believing that I was free, that chapter was behind me. Well, it came back. Both of those are dark nights, the kind where you have to build your entire life around spiritual connection. And suddenly, you can't hear anything. No whispers, no signs, no open doors, just silence. And that loneliness of someone who should know better and still feels completely lost. I'm telling you, this is not for sympathy. I'm telling you this because I need you to know I am not teaching from a book. I have been in the deep water. What got me through wasn't a dramatic breakthrough. It was something much smaller. I kept driving. I didn't stop in the middle of the road just because the direction felt wrong. I made the U-turn. And then I waited for the next instruction. That's all any of us can do. And here's what I've come to understand about U-turns. They're not failures. They are not evidence that you were wrong to start moving in the first place. A U-turn is navigation. It's the system recalculating, not abandoning you, but correcting the course based on information you couldn't see from where you were standing. The GPS doesn't apologize for bad instructions. It doesn't say, oh, I'm sorry I led you toward the ocean. It simply offers you the next right move. Make a U-turn. That's the dark night in a sentence, isn't it? You thought you were headed somewhere. The road ran out. And now you're being asked to turn around, not in defeat, but in the quiet, radical trust that there is somewhere else worth going. And even if you can't see it yet, you don't have to follow the voice that tells you to head east into the ocean. Discernment is also a spiritual practice. Sometimes the dark night is teaching us exactly this, that we've been following directions that were never ours to begin with. Someone else's map, someone else's destination. The U-turn is permission to choose differently. So, what's your ocean? What direction have you been given? And would you have led you somewhere you couldn't survive? And what did your U-turn look like? I'd love to know. You can find me at CeceliaGraceButler.com or reply to But for the Grace newsletter. This episode is in the companion to issue 3, and it's all waiting for you there. Until next time, keep your hands on the wheel, trust the recalculation, and know that being redirected is not the same as being lost. I'm Cecelia Grace Butler, and this is the Akashic Librarian podcast.